and welcome to our continuing adventures on the PTS server. We have a new build today. This is the Shattered Mirror Isle. It is in Fargrave, new house in Fargrave, um, and it is very much themed. Both the Fargrave theme and the theme of Ithilia. So you come in here through this shattered glass entrance, and the entrance exit of that is in Fargrave. And you come into this little starter aisle. This is actually all part, there's like a big Titan corpse here. So you've got the rib cage there, and under the bridge here. There's some spine. I'm assuming we must be on the pelvis part of it here, though I can't really see that. And then the sand pouring down on that side there is actually coming out of part of the skull. You can see the upper half of the jaw there facing us, and the lower half is caught down here. It's really sad, actually, but it makes a really cool building. So I have decorated this and done a custom build, just to sort of show off the potential. You can build quite a ways out and quite a ways up, but not too far down. I was a little sad to see that. Um, and underneath we've got the classic Fargrave look, but with these really pretty beds of like crystal, um, with like flowing glowy air over them. It looks really fun. So, but more of the big Titan skeletons, and of course this really pretty sky, and we've got floating rocks with crystals. Makes for a pretty fun place to have your house. Very pretty, very fantastic element. So there is no option to buy this furnished, which makes me wonder if it's going to be an in-game offering rather than a store offering. Who knows? It did come with an awful lot of these Fargrave plant containers and a bunch of benches. There were lighting fixtures all over, which I got rid of. A bunch of the crystals, a bunch of the cool Mirror threads, all sorts of different types. Um, so it came with quite a lot of furnishings, most of which I ripped out because you know me. It's got to start from scratch, and that way I can fill it full of pretty trees, as I have. So the rib cage was here. I added some lighting, and of course the vines. And then it had kind of its own doorway entrance, but I decided to spice it up with this, mostly because I had some of these doors, and I love this. I love this effect. So, but you can see it's got like the Fargrave sort of doorway here, so that'd be easy enough to stick a door in and have that sort of be the entrance. And we have our little first cavern here. I did add a ceiling, and I added some walls, obviously a lot of vines, to turn this more into a living space. So we had all of these crystals over here, and the crystals along the wall there, but these I added for the ceiling to close it off, just to make this more like an actual living space and a little less like a cavern. They had it sort of designed like a bazaar with stalls and such. But I went more with a living space because that's what I tend to do. So I've got my little kitchen area here. And then I did a dining table over here. It's a really large space. Sort of hard to fill when I got done. There's just too much space. This place is a little too big for the amount of slots. So created sort of like a library area, and then sort of a living room area over here. So I added these walls, pulled some cool stuff that I happen to have around. It did come with the glass harp. Which I thought was really cool. So that came with, and it was decked out mostly in red guard furnishing. So I mostly stuck with that theme, but I threw in some elsewhere stuff and some other stuff I happen to have. So there's a number of little sort of, I don't know, they could be gardening areas, sort of stairs leading to outdoor sort of areas without floors. And this one on this side. So these stairs lead up to this area. I thought this was really cool, this formation already. And I happen to have this replica Fate Thread Fracture, so I stuck it there because it looked really cool. But I basically, so you can see, we're up to sky here again. And I basically turned this part of the cavern into like a little garden. So got some benches. Got a little water feature over here to enjoy. Looking back into our little living room there. And of course the sand waterfall. Sort of an odd thing to have as a waterfall. I was curious about why they did that. And pouring out its eye. Like, how sad is that? That's its skull. We turn so... Nope, that's not... We can so totally do this. Nope. Further over. We're gonna have a tree branch in the way soon. Yep, tree branch in the way. At some point, we can get this so that it's facing the right direction. Why'd I stick a tree there? Kind of harder to tell there, but that's his skull. That's his eye. He's just sad. Poor guy. They've got him perpetually crying. Anyways, so here's one of the cool areas, and yeah, like I said, I just gardened it up a little bit. It's an awfully big place to fully decorate. And I should have attempted to cordon off some of the space more. I didn't. You guys know me. Should get better at this. No, I'm just going to build an enormous structure and then not be able to fill it. But it was fun. This is very fun. I very much wished for a place more like this in Fargrave when they first introduced it. I just wasn't thinking it would take so long for them to make it. So this glass doorway here will take you all the way up to the very upper level. And we will use that to return down here in a bit. But we're going to take the long way up just so you can see the rest of the little island here. Do we call it an island when it's floating? I guess it's a floating island. So, like I said, I added these walls and this doorway. I also, in case you're wondering, I did have that raised up. This is the floor that was here, so you can see it's down a little ways. It's just that it had a lot of this dirt on it, like sand and dirt. And that's one of my pet peeves. I don't like a dirty floor that you can't clean. So I I've got a few benches out here. Here's another little sort of gardeny area. But yeah, all these stairs were already here. And you've got little climb. There were quite a few crystals, beds of crystal and such, and they were using them as decorations along with those threads up here. I replaced that with pretty trees, because that's me. I like everything to be green and growing and pretty. So I made this into a little gardening area again. We have a bunch of trees that I added. There are no trees that came with this. That's a me thing. That's clearly live in a place with lots of trees and must make all my houses that way too. Okay. So the top of this island's pretty cool. It's got like 2 different layers. So we've got this sort of bare dirt area along in here. Very nice for gardening. Very chill. Sort of the center of the whole thing. Let's come over here. Is a sort of look down again into that central area. That's the stairs we came up for that little sandfall garden. And that over on this side is where we have our little indoor cave house built. So the center kind of looks down into that whole thing. You can see from top to bottom from that. Sort of ish. Well, not the bottom of the whole island, of course, but the bottom of what sort of you can build on. And gardening area. We've got some lovely views. Again, this is just so pretty. I mean, look at that. I thought the petals coming down worked really well with the sort of, they have like little bits of flying stuff in the air that are sort of almost like they're glowing. Sometimes they almost look like they might be a bug or something rather than like sand blowing. I'm not entirely sure what it's supposed to be. Added a few statues along here. So this last set of stairs takes us up to what again was another sort of flat area clearly to build on, but again I didn't like the sand. So you can see it sort of here goes into sort of like a dirty tiled area, and I added platforms on top of that so that I could have nice clean non-sandy floor. So here is my second structure I built. This is just built using Fargrave furnishings. There you can see the other cracked glass door. That'll take us back down to that central level. It's way too big for what I have it set up as. It's sort of like a bedroom, but it's enormous. And you've got lots of sort of sandy areas that you can make. Hi, could I get a view? We're gonna, there we go. So I did like a pretty little water feature out there. Little seating area with the fishy tank. Closed off bed here. Like I said, they gave us lots of these little planters, so I shoved an bunch of extra plants in them. Little sink and bathroom sort of area. Pretty garden area, and I made one of my absolutely ridiculously extravagant baths here again. So we've got, we can shower, we can bathe, and of course we've got hot springs to sit and soak in. all the while surrounded by all this pretty crystal and energy and everything else. I just went absolutely wild with it, because of course I did. And then over here we just have a particularly hot spring to sit in. Ah, soak in the sulfur water. We got a little stupid with this one, but, you know, it's my first time building in a while. I have not been building. I've been focused on some other things. So this was fun. And yeah, nice view here. Trees and down into that sort of central crystal area. And then this one is the fancy door. So see, with that portal, this makes much more sense as a house, because you could easily go from the upper level to the lower level without going outside. That works, right? Ish, kind of. Well, I hope you have enjoyed your silly tour of my silly house. I did have a lot of fun. And there is a whole nother house to preview. They've got 2 new ones, and the other new one is Castle Skingrad. It's a whole freaking castle. It's insane. So that one I will have to show off as well. And then there are a ton of new furnishings on the PTS. Helps if I hit the right button. So there's a bunch of new structures. You've got new alien structures, new Dawnwood structures. I'm very excited to play with some of these and build something. So, since neither this house nor the Skingrad Castle seems appropriate for that, I plan on trying to make something separate so I can show off those new furnishings and potential for building with them. We'll just see how my time runs and if I have time to do that or not. But I wanted to show off this place, and I was definitely most inspired by this one and some of the building potential of it. So we'll see when I get a chance to get the rest of the videos out, but I wanted to share this one with you now. So thank you guys so much for watching. Sorry I haven't posted in a while, and hopefully I will have another video out for you soon. Okay, thanks for watching.